Greetings, George Bruno here with you, also known as the Sultan of Silver, with another Beards Without Borders. Tonight's Beards Without Borders is brought to you by McBaron London Blend. Smoking a pipe tonight. That's like raisins. It's beautiful. Literally opening up a box of raisins. And I just got the fresh cut hay, like when you're riding through Lancaster County and they just got done mowing down the hay and you have that smell in the air. Magnificent. Pack a cob with it. For some reason in the summertime I like a cob. For some reason. I don't know why. I tend to fall and winter go towards a briar. This is magnificent. I got introduced to the London Blend, which is a burley blend that I smoke only in a dedicated burley pipe. Introduced to it last summer when I was studying for my manager license. And Don Julio, yeah, nice. And a glass of limeade. Got the 3 candles going tonight, just for a little ambiance, and I have candles that I want to get rid of. We got the zombie gnome going. You guys saw the zombie gnome in another episode. Who knows? He could end up being in, when Beards Without Borders is a hit TV show, who knows? The zombie gnome might be there, right? Just got back from a magnificent Mexican restaurant, El Limon, just outside of Philly. Alambre carnitas, along with 3 margaritas. Gonna have a nice burley pipe. Very nice. Tamp it down a little bit. The initial light is called a charring light. In the summertime, I don't know why, the burley really appeals to me. English blends don't as much. They're more of a, seems like more of a cold weather variety. Cold weather dessert. Well, whether you are a person who partakes of the dark leaf or the green leaf, speaking of green leaf, it's my tobacco plant. It's getting bigger by the day. Let me spin this around so you can see it. Can you see that? I mean, it's huge. That will be picked and dried, aged, cut up, aged, and then enjoyed next year. Some people email me and say, why are you pushing so hard? I'm happy making my $50, my $70, my $80,000 a year. I'm okay. I get a chance to go on 2 vacations a year. Hey man, to each his own. I'd rather see you do better. With less effort. But that's up to you. I know without goals. I'm like a ship without a rudder or a sail on the ocean, just Life is the ocean, and the rudder are your goals. And the sails, what can sails be? Think about it. They push you. Maybe the sails are your motivation, but the thing that controls your direction really is the rudder. If you have goals and you work on them every day, no matter what they are, I don't care if it's a minute a day, even if you're so attention deficit that you can only do 2 minutes on a goal, then do it. It's better than no minutes. Have goals. I'll never forget this as long as I live. My uncle said to me, and my dad actually said this as well, if you don't have goals and plans, there's always going to be someone else who is happy to include you in their plans and goals. So why not do it for yourself? Cheers. It's funny, when I partake of the dark leaf, I'm not a cougher. I don't cough. And I'm not an inhaler. But green leaf, you obviously have to inhale. Do any of you vape who used to partake of the green leaf? And how do you like it? Do you like it? I know we talk about positive things, but I'm not hung up on enjoying herb. I could never hold that against anybody, no more than I can hold having a beer or a martini against anybody. So, but if you vape, leave me a comment down below what vaping is like for you, as opposed to the old way of firing up something. It seems like a really efficient, effective way of doing things. It's funny, all the cats, there's a sliding glass window on the other side of this camera. All the cats are out there watching me. They're my biggest fans. They watch every episode of Beards Without Borders. Only because they know there's going to be some treats waiting for them when I'm done here. Time flies. Life is short. Have goals. If you don't have goals, if you don't have plans, a plan is how you execute towards your goal. There's always going to be someone else who is happy to include you in their plans. They're going to drive a nicer car, live in a nicer house, have less issues, send their kids to better colleges. That's just the reality. I recently was listening to Grant Cardone, and he was talking about how people, the less income you have, typically speaking, the more unhappy you are, because it's more of a struggle. Things are a struggle because you want things that freely belong in the life of people who make more money. And there's an anxiety from that with a lot of people. With myself, I don't care. I don't care what kind of car I drive. I don't care. I want to own less and less and less. The only thing I want to own is stuff that I use. I'm done collecting. My collecting days are over with. Like, I was collecting coins. I was collecting $2 bills. And I made a decision. I'm giving them to my kids. I have 3 kids, and I'll give them things that are important to me. Things like pocket knives and stuff like that. Everybody needs a small pocket knife. Everyone needs a larger pocket knife, and everybody needs a multi-tool type of thing. That includes a knife. Those three things, and I'm fine for my everyday carry. It's so humid right now. Now I smoke only outside or in the Van Gogh room. It's so humid that I can feel the humidity as I'm firing this up. I can feel it inhaling it, not inhaling it, but I can feel it coming through the pipe. Every tobacco has its own flavor, its own, just its own uniqueness. Not too bad. I drank through the rocks glass, and I have a way of, it's not as efficient as the square shot glass, but I do have a way of kind of pouring it into my mouth without going through my stash, but it's just a pain in the neck. I keep my mouth open and kind of pour the drink in, as opposed to the square shot glass where the corner just goes in the middle. Whoever thought that people would enjoy someone sitting around smoking a pipe, drinking whiskey, sipping tequila, burning oil lamps, talking about feral cats. Ah, there's my babies right there in the window. Hi, Grayson. I have a Maine Coon cat now. I could put the lights on the back deck, but I have a little light above the camera with a filter over it. The candles burning here tonight. 3 candles. Can you see 3? Are you able to see the 3? Yeah. Okay. There we go. And of course the zombie gnome. For no reason. There's no reason. 0 reason. Which is a pretty cool reason. The only thing missing is a set of headphones and playing Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, with no lights on except like maybe 1 candle. You know, it's like a symphony. If you think about it, there on YouTube there's a video. If you just put in Dark Side of the Moon instrumental, it's Dark Side of the Moon without any vocals, and it's magnificent. I feel like I'm at a symphony orchestra. It is just really far out. If you like far out stuff, I happen to be from that generation that likes far out. Closes its eyes and goes somewhere else. The story of my adult life. I was going to buy a vehicle tonight, but the owner discovered that he had not inspected it, and they didn't want to give me a car that wasn't inspected. That's some conscience, isn't it? I mean, he wants to make sure everything's 100% safe. So I have a few more days, I think 4 more days before my roommate comes back from the Caribbean. She goes every year. I have a female roommate. We're friends. That's it. She goes to the Jersey Shore all summer. I'm by myself. At the end of the summer, she goes to the Caribbean for 2 weeks. And I'm by myself. I really love the solitude. I have to pick her up from the airport this Saturday night at about 9:30 p.m. And then the debates will start. And then the who left the whatever open, or you didn't close the this, or you didn't, who left the AC on, and who left a dirty dish in the sink. I guess that's life for everybody. I don't know. I'm not sweating anything anymore. I sweat nothing. The only thing that sweats on me is my armpits. That's about it. I was going to get this vehicle, and this dude said, "Oh my gosh, I just realized we hadn't had it inspected." In the United States, you got to inspect vehicles at an inspection center. And he goes, "I hope you're not mad." And there's not a lot that I get mad. If someone's like going after my family, yes, I'm mad, and I use that anger for appropriate reasons. But I'm fairly unshakable. It's taken long enough to get to this point, but it's a beautiful thing to just be unshakable. I sweat nothing, man. Nothing. Limeade. Don Julio. The other night I fired up some Haunted Bookshop, and the stuff will knock you on your butt. If you're a dark leaf fan, try Cornell and Deal's Haunted Bookshop. You'll really like it. Something really cool as in temperature wise about a pipe. See? It's a corn cob with a wood shank and an acrylic bit. This bit comes out. See that? Goes back in. It fits. Tree. Bugs making their noise. Crickets. Cicadas. No big agenda tonight, except to tell you that you got to have some goals. The rest is just you joining me for a drink and a smoke. That's it. Sometimes I take 2 showers a day if it's too hot. My morning shower isn't so much to clean me as it is to wake me up. And my evening shower is just to rinse off the grime of the day so I don't feel sticky and dirty when I go to bed. But when I take a shower at night, this just becomes a bird's nest, and the hair just gets slicked back, and that's it. It's just Goomba with a white beard. You know what I'm going to do? Limeade Don Julio. There we go. Kind of a margarita without the triple sec and all that good stuff. So, cheers. 3 days off, got a lot done. YouTube content is coming along. I'm adding more substance to a couple other channels. I'll share what those are. One has to do with surviving divorce. One has to do with selling your artwork. Another one has to do with being a person who has another person in your life who is using drugs and alcohol, abusing them to the point where it's going to kill them. And it's a series of videos based upon my experience, many other experiences. It's a conglomeration of interventions and a lot of anger. When you have when you have someone in your life, let me ask this: do you have someone in your life? Do you have someone in your life who is abusing alcohol or drugs to the point where they have scars on their body from falling, car accidents? They spent time in jail. They've been in the emergency room. It goes like this: emergency room, jail, grave. That's the path right there. That's the flow chart when somebody loses track of their when they lose control of their life and need a substance to alter their existence. Emergency room, jail, death, the grave. There's no cheating that. So I have those YouTube channels going, getting more into what I would call focused, organized content, as opposed to, like talking stream of consciousness. And these are all stream of consciousness, maybe with a couple bullet points. Rocked a curly beard for a week. Super curly. For me. Curly for me. And I was doing a lot of scrunching. Today I got up, shook it off, put in my beard oil. I put in the leave-in conditioner, the Paul Mitchell conditioner, while I was in the shower. Come out, brush my hair back, dry my body off, put in Kiehl's beard oil today, and then my own homemade beard balm that I made, which is something like geranium, pine, and lavender. I forget. Like, I gotta figure out what that one is. I really enjoyed that a lot. It's kind of floral, very summery. It's not a spicy, peppery, leathery kind of beard balm. And right before I came out, I just combed it down underneath, combed it down, combed it down, combed it down. Did nothing for the stash. It's a little bit of a frizz bomb today, but it is hanging nicely. It is flowing nicely. Not as straight as it could be because of the humidity. The humidity is ridiculous. It's insane. It's hotter in Philly than it is in Florida right now. And I'm thinking of maybe even moving to Florida, who knows? Or Nashville, I don't know. Do you have somebody in your life who's out of control? What do you do about it? How do you cope? Do you drink yourself? Do you smoke yourself? Are you just vaping yourself to sleep every night? What are you doing? How do you deal with it? Or you go in the other direction where you're just ultra healthy and working out and running and watching your calories and all that kind of stuff. Well, my last day off of 3 days, got so much work done. I'm going to go in, probably catch something on Netflix. Not something too deep. I don't want to think that hard tonight. So maybe some kind of maybe a horror film or some kind of fantasy, sci-fi fantasy kind of thing. That's always fun for me. But the work week begins tomorrow for me. Don't forget, I'll be in Nashville September 3rd. If you're going to be there, it'll be awesome. I'm a judge in the National Beard and Mustache Championship in Nashville. First time in any kind of event like this. I've done many hair shows, but I've never, and taught in various beauty schools and so forth, but I never did this kind of championship, and I'm expanding a little bit, so it should be fun. Have a great night. Cheers.